Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. Another walk around for you. This one's right here on the home place. You guys have probably seen this one in the background of videos quite a lot. And it's the old 1942 Allis-Chalmers M tractor. And this has the iconic, exaggerated, big, overhead, arched up cylinders that lift straight in the air, overbuilt in every way, Baker bulldozer blade set up on it. Very distinctive design on this. And this is an angle blade. It's got the C-frame here in the front. You can pull pins here and run these side braces back to these holes, and it's just really heavy, really overbuilt, and at the end of the day really awesome. And this old blade has seen a lot of work in its day. You can tell by how caved in the mold board is. Bunch of building up out here, and it's had numerous welds and cracks, and it's just one of those things that it's been fixed and patched and fixed again and welded here and welded there and cracked, and a lot of this was done by previous owners. It was never V'd out and really fixed correctly, but you see a lot of facing put on here. But my dad bought this decades ago, and before we had all the Caterpillars on the place and the nice tractors and everything else, this old Allis M, which was pretty much as wore out as she is right now, even back then, cleared this entire area that all the buildings and the house and everything down there where the pole barn is, everything around got cleared with this old machine. It really put in a lot of good service for us, and she's got some wear and some problems, but it's one of those that we just kind of have a soft spot for and just keep it around. It's been here ever since before this place was a place. So to do a brief walk around of it here, like I said, Baker blade arches up over the top of the tractor. We have these cylinders that lift straight up, non-chromed rods. You usually had to buff these and keep them clean, otherwise they'd leak. Undercarriage has definitely seen better days. Grouser bars wore down, pretty short. Big chunks out of track pads. We have, like, this was a flat piece of steel that was just put in to replace one that was missing altogether, and a lot of them are loose. This thing bangs and clangs, and that's one thing I remember from when I was a kid, how this thing would clang and clatter when you drove it around. You can see pins and bushings are getting wore to the point where it's running out of pitch with the sprocket, meaning that the track is stretched to the point that when the next sprocket tooth comes around to engage, it has to kind of pull the pin down into the gullet a little bit. But you know, it's one of those things. Lots and lots of years of use. It's got all the rollers in it yet. Idlers on there. Take a look up here. It's had this awesome aftermarket seat on it, again, ever since I can remember. Always had that hole right there. We have hydraulic tank here. Got the control for it. Come around where we can see the lettering a little bit better. I do like this. It's got a float, power down, hold, power up, and detents still work. Really neat looking old-fashioned control from back in the day. We got the galvanized pipe that makes the extension for the main clutch lever. Gives you a lot better leverage, because I think they were originally only about that long back in the day. Steering clutch levers here and here. They've never had the handles on them. It's all been chipped away, and it's just kind of these knurled metal ends. Again, it's the way I remember it ever since when I was a kid. Gear shift. Got your steering brakes each side. Throttle there, I believe. And like I've said in other videos, typical Allis-Chalmers fashion, just a couple pegs to put your feet. They really didn't get too concerned about putting foot plates down on these. Figured you'd find a place for your feet somewhere. We got oil pressure up there, gauge on the dash. This used to be a distillate burning machine. It's got the manifold where you at one time would have taken the box out, flipped it around, and you could burn distillates and lower grade fuels. So we got this little kicker tank up here that would have been your gasoline for starting. Of course, that hasn't been used for a long time. It just burns strictly gas now. You can see, well, see by all the moss growing on it that it sits around quite a bit. The goal is to start it and move it tonight, so we'll see if we can get that far. And the block's been cracked at one time and repaired. It still seeps a little bit of coolant, but like I said, been that way ever since I can remember. 30 years now. We did do some rebuilding on the track frame on this side. Got the idler tightened up, redid the carrier roller, redid all the bottom rollers down here, and fabbed up and welded up all the new blade brackets for it. Replicated the old broken stuff that was on there. So this side's pretty well done. But then once we pretty much finished with that project, we started getting all of our nicer grade Caterpillars, and the old M has pretty much sat ever since. Right on the back here, got the hydraulic pump, so it's not life power. Clutch has to be engaged if you're going to have any kind of hydraulic action going on. But that's the way a lot of them were back in the day. So I think that pretty much completes the walk around. We'll see if we can get it started. Maybe see it move again tonight. Yeah, sounds just like I remember it from when I was a kid. Sounds of yesteryear. Brings back a lot of memories. This old M has cackled with that distinctive sound in these woods for a long, long time. And it's done a really good job. One thing you always got to remember to do, get that rain cap back down. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna do a walk around of this one. Nothing fancy. She had a lot of hard hours put on her, lots of wear, but it was a key piece in building this whole place before we really had anything up here at all. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It's fun watching her run again. It doesn't run and move much anymore, but still goes just like I remember it. Watching the old man taking down trees and digging out stumps. So, as always, guys, like, subscribe, leave comments below, and I hope to see you back again.